Hi, my name is Victoria Jones. I'm a senior physiotherapist in the Cardiac Rehabilitation team in Tala Hospital. And I'm here today to tell you a little bit about the importance of cardiac rehabilitation and continuing to do your exercise, both on the programme here with us and when you're at home. The recommended guidelines for physical activity following a coronary event is that you participate in moderate physical activity for 30 minutes on 5 days of the week. When you're attending the programme here with us, you can attend for 3 days, but we also need to offer you an alternative to carry on for the 2 days that you're not with us, or if you're unable to make any of the sessions with us. And also, for into the future, when you finish the 8-week programme with us, you need to be able to carry this on into the future. So people often ask me, what is moderate levels of physical activity? When you're exercising to a moderate level, you should feel that your heart rate is beating a little bit faster. It's okay to feel a little bit warmer and even to perspire, but you should always be able to walk and talk or hold a conversation while you're participating in the exercise. Another way you can gauge the level of your exercise is to use the Borg scale. The Borg scale runs from 6 to 20, and it is a measurement of how the exercise feels for you in terms of muscle strength, endurance, and your breathing. And when you're exercising, it's useful to ask yourself, how hard does this exercise feel to me? Our targets when using the Borg scale are that we are exercising between 11 and 15. That's from fairly light to hard. Today I'm going to take you through some exercises that you'll be able to do in your own home. I'm going to show you a circuit of 10 different types of exercises which will last for a 10-minute period. And as we have mentioned before, the recommended guidelines are that you build this up to a 30-minute exercise session. And I suggest that you start by trying to complete the first 10-minute circuit, and you can complete this then up to 3 times to achieve your target goals. Now I'm going to show you the exercise circuit that I've designed for you to do in your own home. You will need a few pieces of equipment to do this. I would suggest you have a chair with no arms, a set of light weights if you have those, but as an alternative you can use a bottle filled with water or a tin of baked beans or tomatoes. And if you're living in a house where there is a step, we will also use this as part of our exercise circuit. As I say to all people participating in physical activity, it's always really important to listen to your body. If you experience any of the following symptoms while you're exercising, we suggest you just sit down and rest. The symptoms to look out for are excessive dizziness, faintness, shortness of breath, or chest, jaw, or arm pain. If you experience anything following, please sit down and rest, and if these symptoms do not subside, we suggest that you seek some medical attention. We're going to start our exercise circuit with a gentle warm-up. It's really important to do the warm-up to get the blood circulating around the body, to increase the heart rate to our exercising level, ensure that we loosen out the muscles and joints. We're just going to start with a gentle march on the spot. This warm-up will take 2 to 3 minutes to complete, and we'll just do some nice gentle exercises and a couple of simple stretches to get you going. We're going to continue marching on the spot and then just tap the heels forward gently. Good, and back to marching on the spot. As you're warming up, you'll begin to feel that your heart rate is rising and that you're breathing a little faster, and you should also begin to feel a little bit warmer. And this is the responses we expect you to get. Toes behind. And back to marching on the spot. Lovely. I'm going to show you our first stretch now. So you put your right foot forward, keep the back leg straight, and bend onto the front knee, keeping the back heel on the ground. And we just hold this stretch for 8 to 10 seconds. And you can switch sides. As you do this stretch, you should feel a gentle stretch on the bottom of the back leg. And we'll just go back into marching. And tapping the heels forward again. And this time we can leave the right heel forward, toe up in the air, pop your hands onto your hip, and sit yourself back, keeping the front leg nice and straight. Again, we hold this stretch for 8 to 10 seconds, and you can switch sides. With this stretch, you should feel at the top of the straight leg at the back. And back to marching again. And tap the toes behind. And back to marching again. You can do a nice little side step. And leave the feet just nice and wide apart, hands onto the hips, and bend the right knee, keeping the left leg straight, and you should feel the stretch on the inside of the thigh. Again, hold this stretch for 8 to 10 seconds. Come back up and over to the other side. And back to the middle. Back for your last little bit of marching. At this stage, you should be feeling a little bit warmer. You should feel that the legs have loosened out and that your heart rate has built up to an exercising level. And now we're going to begin our circuit. The first exercise in our circuit is going to be knees high. With this exercise, I want you to bring the knees up in front of you, tapping onto the hands. We're going to be completing each of these exercises for 1 full minute. If you feel during the minute that this becomes too difficult for you, you can just revert back to plain marching, or you may want to march a couple of times and then knee high. The next exercise we're going to the circuit is a strengthening exercise for our arms. For this, you'll need some nice light weights. You can start off with 1 to 2 kilograms of weight, or if this is too much for you, you may want to just use something like a bottle filled with water or a tin of peas or something else that you have in the cupboard. With this exercise, it's going to be nicely slow and controlled. You're bringing your hands up and back down. Nice and gently, and control the movement coming back down. Slowly up and slowly back down. You should count for 1, 2, 3 on the way up and 1, 2, 3 on the way back down to make sure you keep the nice slow movement. Again, you may find that this is difficult to complete for the first minute. So if you become tired during that exercise, you can leave the weights down and just continue with exactly the same movement. To make this exercise a little bit harder, you could also introduce your feet into the exercise at the same time. The third exercise in the circuit is a side step heel kick. Just make sure that you're far enough away from your chair behind you for this exercise, and you're going to side step and kick up behind. As you do this exercise, you should feel a little dip in the knees and then straighten up. If this exercise becomes quite easy for you, you can introduce the arms as well. Again, you're going to be completing this exercise for a full minute. The next exercise in our circuit is going to be the lateral arm raise. We'll need our weights again for this exercise. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, and you're going to start by lifting one weight up to shoulder height and slowly back down. And then you can do the same with the other arm. Again, we count for 3 and down for 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you find it very easy to do this with just one hand at a time, you might like to introduce 2 arms together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And similar to before, if that becomes difficult for you, you can leave the weights down and simply keep the same exercise with no weights in your hand. Also, if it becomes too easy for you, you may want to get the feet marching and doing the exercise with your feet moving. The next exercise in our circuit is a side step with arm movement to join in. So we're going to start off by side stepping. And then put your hands up onto your shoulders, and you can bring the arms out and in at the same time. Again, we're going to complete this exercise for 1 full minute. If you begin to feel tired during the exercise, you can simply leave your hands down and keep moving the legs side to side, and then reintroduce the arms as you feel able. So the next one, we're going to use the back of our chair for a little bit of support. It's a heel raise. So you're going to hold on to the back of the chair nice and gently and rise up on the toes and back down. And gently up on the toes and back down. Again, we're going to keep this going for the full minute. If your legs become tired when you're doing this exercise, you can just gently march for a few seconds and then return back to the exercise. Okay, now we're going to use our chair again for the next exercise, which are sit to stands. Find a chair that is a comfortable height for you, and you're going to start by popping your hands across your shoulders, and you're going to stand up and sit back down again. Stand up and sit back down again. If this is too difficult for you and you need to use your hands, that's okay to do that too. And back down. And stand up. The quicker you do this exercise, the more challenging it becomes. And if you use a surface or a chair that is higher, it will be easier for you to stand up from that. We're going to put the chair back away again now. And this exercise is a punching exercise. We're going to use our weights for this. Punch them forward. Similar to all the other exercises using the weights. If this becomes difficult for you, you can leave the weights down and just complete the exercise without the weights. And if you find this exercise very easy, you may want to also include marching as you're moving the weights. The next exercise in the circuit will be using a step. You can either use the bottom step of your stairs if you have this at home, otherwise you may want to use the step at your front or your back door. If you have a handrail on your stairs, I suggest you use it just to ensure your stability while you're doing this exercise. And what we're going to get you to do is step up and down on the bottom step. Up, up, down, down. Up, up, down, down. You can switch the leg with which you lead during the exercise. And the faster you complete this exercise, the more challenging it becomes for you. And the final exercise in our circuit is the wall press up. For this exercise, you're going to pop your hands on the wall at shoulder width apart, with your feet shoulder width apart slightly behind you, and you're going to bend your elbows and push back out. Bend your elbows and push back out. Bend your elbows. Again, this exercise may be difficult for you, and if it becomes difficult, you can use the weight and simply lift one arm up and down and up and down and up. Remembering to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If that still remains too difficult for you, you can leave your weights down and simply bring the arm up and down and up and down, or you can bring the arms in front. Congratulations, that's the end of your 10-minute circuit. At this point, if you feel you have the energy to continue on, I suggest you repeat the same circuit again, and ideally you could complete the circuit 3 times to build up to your 30 minutes of moderate physical activity that's required for you today. I hope you enjoy the programme.